Peace and love. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Soul Session. One moment. I hope you're doing well. We haven't done this reading in a long time. I thought it'd be wonderful to check in with our spirits to see where we are on the ascension journey. Let's get started. Thank you, Most High Energy, the highest creative energy of all, for life, for direction, for my mind, for my gifts. Thank you, Spirit, for higher level knowledge, for wisdom, moving forward. Thank you for my ancestors, their power, their direction, their courage. Thank you, angels, for your protection, your guidance, keeping me aware, being with me in the darker times, moving me towards the light. Thank you for being here with me as we're growing our family over here. I'm thankful for your presence. I'm thankful that you're here with me. Spirit, what messages do you have for us as we move towards ascension, always, as we move towards healing, as we continuously work to open our hearts, to keep our hearts open, as we continuously work to hear your wisdom and your direction for us? What messages do you have for us today? Thank you, Spirit. In this journey we call life. And I'm just going to move the cards a little bit and get some energy going. Thank you, Spirit. Oppression. Restriction, exhaustion, depression, depleted resources, feeling cut off, punishment, and confinement. Approach. Advancing, a warm reception, prosperous conditions, increased influence, hopefulness, lighten up, and arrival. Spirit is saying keep going, right? We already can feel it. The energies have been quite heavy lately. The creative, the active yang principle, strength, tenacity, dynamism, inspiration, heaven, masculinity, authority, and father. So you can see it. And on the bottom we have the gentle. Few more cards, okay? Then we'll get started. We already can get an understanding of where we're going with this reading with that oppression card. And like I said, it's been so much going on in the world, right? Right now, so much going on. We have war happening. And then right now, where we're from, we've had so many killings. And recently, so many youth have been killed. Little ones have been killed. And so we give thanks for life, and we send loving and healing energy to those who are going through loss, those who have lost their loved ones. Like I said, the energy has been really heavy. And so if you haven't felt anything, you're definitely feeling it now. And eventually I'll come on here and talk a little bit more about some of the things that have happened recently in this country. All right, let's see. Success. The dream. And politics. Spirit is saying that you're healing. All right. So with this oppression card, Spirit is saying hold on to the light. Hold on to your light. Hold on to that part within that you know, that spark, that energy. Because that's what this character is doing. With all that darkness around, they have a ball of light in their hand. That's the spiritual energy. That's the holy fire. Right? Spirit is saying to hold on to that fire, even if it's flickering, right? Even if it looks like it's dimming out, to hold on to that, because as you're passing through this difficult phase in your life, where you're going through heavy restrictions, that bit of light will help you see your way through. Also know that your ancestors are around you, and look for spirit guides, look for animal guides as well, because we have the birds that are around this figure in the dark. This also gives me the energy that a lot of people might be saying things to you, or could be making you feel a certain way about yourself, or there could be negative energy around you, negative talk, negative people, negative circumstances, heavy energy. This is a heavy energy that's around you at this time, or could be around you at this time. But even within any negative circumstance, there is a spiritual light, and it resides on the inside. And so Spirit is saying that in all circumstances, continue to allow that light to shine. That way your guides can help you navigate out of those difficult situations. That way you can see yourself within those situations, and you can see your way out. The light is not only for others to see, the light is truly for us to see. It's seeing who we are in the face of circumstances and situations that will try to break us down or tear us down, or get us to forget parts of ourselves, forget our goals, forget our important missions. Right? Sometimes this can come in the form of people, conditions, circumstances. It really just depends upon you and what you're dealing with, how it presents itself to you in your life. But best believe that these things can be pushed through, can be worked through, even in the darkest situations. And that's what Spirit is saying. This is also a spiritual period here. This is a spiritual stance for me. It's a hermit energy. Even though it says all these different things here, feeling cut off. Sometimes when we go through spiritual transformations, sometimes when we're accessing higher level energy, sometimes when we're becoming aware of parts of ourselves, we have to be cut off. And we have to go on a lonely journey. We have to have that moment where we can sit still within ourselves. This is also something we talk about on this channel a lot. This is a moment of sitting with the shadow. This is acknowledging parts of yourself. This character is looking at this ball, which makes me think about the spirit, but it also makes me think about looking at the life, looking at the past and the present, having an understanding of the future. It's like gazing into something. They're gazing into this light. And so from that energy, this period of darkness, which you might feel cut off, you might not have anybody to talk to about certain things going on. Spirit is saying that they're with you, but also that you're with yourself, and that you have an understanding of yourself within these circumstances. It also saying that you can see yourself out of it. With this character looking at this ball, you can see yourself out of it. You see it. It's visible to you. Whether you've had dreams about it, whether you've had those a glimpse of it in your mind, that imagination. If you're imagining yourself out of a situation, that's Spirit working. Those are nudges. That's spiritual communication. And so Spirit is saying that you're working out of those situations, and that the light is clearing. But you have to be here, though. And look at the last Lenormand reading, because this is making me think about that as well. You have to be in this period of darkness in order to truly understand the light that needs to come in order to truly understand the light that needs to be within you. Sometimes, too, Spirit puts you in darker situations to illuminate or to, it makes me think about charging something or finally putting the battery in or finally, the spark, the spark plug, or the jump start. It's almost like a jump start of the spirit if it's been idle, that higher level spiritual energy, if it's been idle, if you've been working and moving in the world and allowing the world to operate your movements, if you've gone so far in that direction, the spiritual body becomes dormant. The spiritual body is what we use to actually navigate in the world in the higher dimension, the higher level. It has nothing to do with the world. It has something to do with the world, but it's beyond the world. It's the light body energy. And if you operate in the worldly energy, which is a heavy, dense energy, we talk about it a lot on this channel, it's a heavy, dense energy when you operate in the world. You have to be put in situations where that energy and that heaviness has to be lifted off of you. And that's the shadow aspect. It's not sitting in the shadow, but it's in understanding of an acknowledgement of the shadow. When you acknowledge the shadow of yourself and you acknowledge the shadow of your environments, it's that feeling of things slowly being lifted off the body, the energy slowly being lifted off the body. Those things that you've told yourself, those memories from the past, those negative things that people have said to you, hurtful comments, hurtful situations, things from the past. You understand. We talk about it. It's a spiritual place to be here. It's a painful place to be here. I've been here. And, it's no, you're here and you're done and you move on. These are places that we go through when we're accessing parts of ourselves and we're moving into that next moment in our spiritual journey. Spirit is saying you felt depleted. And this is dealing with negative energy too. When we have people around us and we are in negative environments and when we're going through these major shifts, we have to work on protecting ourselves, protecting the physical body, the emotional and the spiritual body. It's a lot that has to go on. It's a cleansing process that has to happen. It's more than just, thinking about it. It's actively doing things to the physical body, going outside, stepping in water if you have to, putting your feet on the earth if you have to, grounding yourself on the earth, putting your hands on the earth, meditating outside, putting your hands on the earth and imagining that energy coming off the body and going to the earth. And I want to say something about this really quickly. This is a side note. Anytime that we go outside and we meditate and we work with the energies, the creative energies outside, Mother Nature, to help to cleanse us, because that energy out there can cleanse us. We always do it with a spirit of gratitude. We don't plant our feet on Mother Earth and ask her to remove and help us to remove heavy toxins out of the body. And I mean negative toxins like this, of the spiritual kind, the spiritual dimension, to remove those from the body, and we don't offer anything in return. How do you offer Mother Earth? You can give a small offering. It could be flowers, it could be seeds, it could be anything like that. Planting is one way to offer. But also placing your hand on the earth and saying thank you. Or placing your hand on the earth and breathing in and breathing out a peaceful energy, a loving energy, saying I love you to the earth. These are things that seem strange to me, but the earth has the ability to heal us. But Mother Earth also asks for our understanding, our humbleness, our gratitude, and our love in return, right? So there are ways that you can cleanse the body when you're dealing with these heavy negative energies. And more than likely, it's going to have to be leaving that environment by going outside. If you're in an environment, if it's your home space, if it's a work environment, the main thing that we want to do is we want to eventually leave these environments for good and get out of these spaces. My cat is back. There's something about me doing these readings. She gets just so, and she wants to say hi. Say hi, Ninja. Say hi. She gets just so excited hearing me talk. And she knows I'm talking to you. Why does she even know the camera's up? She knows the camera's up. It's just a lot. There's a lot going on with that. She's her own spirit being. She's her own spirit being. But she loves the messages. I guess that she loves the messages, and she loves that the messages are being shared. And so she wants to show that by coming over here. So we really want to work through these environments and move to a place of safety, but sometimes we're not in positions to do that, right? And so we have to create that safety, that barrier within whatever we're dealing with. Protection, imagining protection around you. You know, saying in your mind, I'm not dealing with it today. Spirit, block anything negative from me today. Angels, protect me today from anyone or anything that wants to harm me. Continue to keep your wings around me. Spirit, let's shield it on up. Let's shield up, right? And when you're doing this, you're visualizing it. You're visualizing those shields coming up. We have to be ready and armed. When we're going through powerful spiritual shifts, where we're becoming enlightened, what happens is people around us that don't have that spiritual inclination, we've talked about it, they don't have it, they won't have it, right? Some will, but that's their own story for their own time. That's not now. This is you and what you're going through. And so what they'll do and what people do and what the energy does, because everything is spiritual. Understand that when we're dealing with the world and when we're walking in our daily lives, it might seem like it's mundane, but we're always having spiritual experiences and connections. And so what those energies will do is they want to pull you back down to where they are, to that anger, to that fear, to that resentment, to that ugliness. They want you to stay in a place of stagnation. They want you to stay in a place of pain. People want to be in pain together. Certain people want to be in frustration with others. They want to be in ignorance with others. They want to be in anger with others. But when you start to move in a spiritual direction, and when you start to allow those higher level energies to take over, because spirit has to talk to you to move you to your next destination, your next path, we don't have time for the heavy negative energies. And so what happens is you start to become very aware of those things that are dragging on you and pulling down on your spirit. It's almost like you want to flick it away. But it's not that easy. You have to work through it, because a lot of times we've built these things up over time. We've built these lives up over time. We've built up these personas over time. And they're built like building blocks that are laid down heavy like cement, with a spackle in the middle. So you can't just go and flick that away. That's something that has to be taken down one brick at a time. And it's not quick work. It takes time, because it took time to build it. Not only building it with yourself, but the people around you who expect you to act in a certain way, right? They don't understand it. They wouldn't understand the desire for higher spiritual knowledge. Everything you need is right here. Why are you trying to get things that don't make sense? Or why are you trying to go for something that's not tangible, that we can't see? Because for some people, the only thing that matters are things that are seen. This is what it is. This is nothing more than just this. And this is it. Why are you looking at this and expecting to see something else in it? Why are you giving this a new name? Why are you giving this any type of power whatsoever? These type of energies are just simple. It's a closed-minded energy. They're not going to understand the shift. They're not going to understand the change. It's going to be a scary feeling, not only for you, but for those who are dealing with you, because you've created this persona, you've created this idea. And when you start to move away from it, it's like, hey, 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 what's going on? What's going on? Who are you? Why are you being fake? Why are you? So that's why it's always important to love ourselves enough to be able to be in this state of being alone. And to say to ourselves, wait a minute, I've made some choices in the past, and now I'm willing to look at those choices, and I'm willing to analyze myself and the part that I played. Because let's be real. When we're dealing with shadow and when we're coming out of negative situations, there's a part that we all play in them. And so the healing comes from looking at the part that we play in it and moving from that energy. Spirit is saying that you're moving forward. We're all moving forward. We're advancing. We're moving up these stairs here into that great unknown area where the spirit can soar and travel even further and can access even more. We don't have the details on where this is. We're not supposed to have the details. But the work that we need to do is right in front of us because those are the steps right there. So we might not know, if we'll be able to run when we get through this gate, if we'll be able to fly. But what we can see right in front of us is that step, and it's one at a time, step by step. Spirit is saying that this is where you're at now, or you're on your way to this. But even, don't get it twisted, even in this stage here, we're still moving up those steps. And I think that's the discouraging part about spiritual work and spiritual movement forward, because we don't feel like we're moving or that we're doing anything. But there's powerful work to be done in addressing the shadow self and addressing the shadow energy. Spirit is saying you're slowly moving up these steps. Moving up this step in reality might be a couple of seconds. Moving up these steps in a spiritual sense could be months. It could be years. It depends upon you and your courage and your ability to shed unwanted and unneeded parts of the past, and your ability to listen to your guides and listen to your higher knowledge. Your ability truly to trust yourself, because listening to your higher knowledge is just having trust in who you are and having trust in what you feel for your life and what you feel for your calling. Continue to be hopeful. Spirit is saying you're lightening up, that energetic body is lightening up as you're releasing some of these things from the past, these burdens, these ideas that you've attached on yourself and these ideas that others have attached on you. And we talk a lot about that in this channel, about that energetic weight of other people. That's something that you don't think about, but we're all energetic beings. It's all energy. We're all dealing with energy. The words we speak, the movements we make, all this stuff. And so people can attach themselves to you energetically, for the good and for the bad. It really just depends upon the circumstance and the situation and the person. A negative person and a hurtful person and a harmful person that's decided to attach themselves to you, that's something you have to work through. Those things seem like they might be light. It's nothing. But that energy can be like a rock. Or that energy can also add a brick to that building that we were talking about earlier. It's added layers. People add their own layers of brick and spackle to your life. There's success here with a success card. Spirit is saying that you've already gone so far. You've already come so far. You've done beautifully. You've done beautifully. You've been able to see things that you didn't see before. You've been able to hear things that you didn't hear before. You're now able to acknowledge parts of life that aren't seen and aren't visible to the naked and the normal eye. So you're coming into that spiritual awareness, and you should be commended for that. Spirit says, give yourself love for the work that you have done. There is success in the work that you have done. Even if the circumstances around you don't show you, there is spiritual success in the work that you have done. Your soul is thankful for the work that you have done, because we are moving towards ascension. So that light body energy is what we want to have as we move into the next dimensions. These are things that we talk about all the time on this channel. These are things that people don't necessarily want to think about, but this is what we're doing here constantly. When we come here and when we leave here, it's a journey of the spirit. It's a constant movement. It's a constant evolution. It's ever changing. And so anytime we're bettering ourselves, we're bettering our spirits. What does that do? That allows us to access things that we couldn't access before, but it allows us to move closer to the most important part of ourselves. When you get to that part, you're able to understand the calling of your soul. When you understand the calling of your soul, you've unlocked the blueprint of your life here on this planet. You understand? Spirit is saying that you will be successful, that you are successful, even if it doesn't feel like that. Continue to create. We have the creative energy out here, which is a masculine energy in this deck, but creative energy is feminine too. But it says the creative energy, the active yang principle, strength, tenacity, inspiration, heaven, masculinity, authority, father. Take control of your life. Have authority over your life. Right? Be the creator of your life. Work in tandem with the highest creative energies, the most high energies, whatever those energies are for you. Feel comfortable here with that, right? Move in tandem with those energies to create the life that you see for yourself when you're looking at this gazing at this ball. Politics is here. For some, we have the dream here. And this woman is dreaming of a beautiful relationship. But the dream really could be whatever you want it to be. But the politics card was right beside it. So there's something keeping you from your dream. There's something keeping you from accessing yourself here. This politics card, I really can't stand this card in this deck here. This deals with false reality. This is negative people. This is demonic energy to me. This is greed. This is jealousy. This is resentment. This is, you've been here long enough. Put the words in. The words where they belong. You understand what I'm saying. This is all those things in this card. And we have this rattlesnake energy. The snake is all coiled up. It can't move. The snakes, to me, deal with transformation. A lot of decks like to have snakes as a sign of sneaky behavior or lies or whatever. And that could be the case. The snake can't move. So for me, something is hindering the transformation. Something is keeping the snake from being able to transform, or for this transformative energy to operate. What is keeping it? It's the mask that this guy has to wear. The interesting thing about this card is the mask is ugly. I guess the mask isn't supposed to be ugly. The mask is supposed to be friendly. So this might be you're dealing with false people. You have false people around you. You have false energies. For some, you're in a false connection here because we have this here with this woman dreaming of this connection. She's dreaming of something that she doesn't have here. Somebody's dealing with somebody that's false. They're wearing a mask. They're a liar. They're a thief. Because this is green here. Makes you think about money. They're a thief. They could be envious of you, jealous of you. And they smile But that's the energy behind it. We talk about this a lot, how we don't want to see people in our lives as being this energy, this person here behind this mask. But some people operate in the shadow, happily so. It's an ignorance, and it's a low-level intelligence masquerading as a high-level intelligence, masquerading as elite or knowledgeable, but it's base knowledge. It's a lot that can be done with base knowledge. Base knowledge is operating with the world at its lowest denomination or its lowest point. Having people move in those ways. Sex is one of those ways. Money is one of those ways. Being tempted to have everything, which comes down to money. But the world, the manipulation of the world, these are base motives and movements. And some people, they use those base motives to manipulate and to move people here. It's something about this person's voice too, or something about the things this person says, because that rattlesnake there, that rattlesnake and the way that the tail is right by, like close to the mouth. This person has a way of speaking. It's venom, it's lies, it's lies, it's lies, it's deceit. It's deceit behind this mask. But they've developed a certain type of, this is a master manipulator that I'm looking at here. This is a master manipulator. This is the energy of it in a card. They're happily so. They've, just like we talk about these skills, these spiritual skills, and we talk about accessing that higher level knowledge and moving in that fashion when we get that, there are people who operate in the shadow, okay? We've talked about that before in different videos. There are people that operate in the shadow, happily so, and they've learned how to access skills and gifts that come from operating in the shadow. Because when there's light, there's dark. There's light, there's dark. There's, gifts with both. They think of it as a gift. For me, it's a curse. But for them, it's a gift because they've been able to find their way through the world with it. They've been able to manipulate their way into certain situations. They've been able to hide themselves so long. Nobody would even know that this person was like that behind this mask. That is the scary gift of the shadow energy. When we talk about political things going on, when we talk about some of the things that are happening in the country, the dirt of it all, the ugliness, the demonic energy that hides behind the words that are said, and the smiles, and the campaigns, and these are the things that we deal with in life. These are the people that we deal with in life. They've been able to master the persona. They've been able to master the shadow persona. These type of energies have no desire to move out the shadow persona. Some of them don't even know they're moving into it. I think, they've lied to themselves to the point where they don't even realize they're operating in the shadow. Some people are doing it because they love to do it. This person's happy to do it, though. They're happy to do it. Underneath this creative energy, of this masculinity, you can be dealing with the energy of somebody who's trying to enforce something on you with this politics card. And this reading won't resonate with everybody. This is just what's coming to me right now. These soulful readings, I try to make it so that they're for all of us as we're moving, but whoever's watching this channel, this might resonate, I mean, it could play out in anyone's life. Because this could be a person, or this could be a circumstance. This could be an environment. This could be society. Right? This could be many things. It doesn't have to be a person. But even still, when we're dealing with these negative energies and entities, Spirit is saying that we have supreme authority over our lives. How we say it. We tell ourselves that. We believe it. This is the energy of allowing others to take control. This is the energy of somebody keeping someone from walking up these steps. Keeping someone in fear. Don't forget about the power that exists in here, in this space. Even if you're going through the hardest of times, there's a spiritual light and there's a spiritual power. You tell yourself, you're spirit, we're spirit. I talk about spirit. Spirit is everything to me. Right? Spirit, we have supreme authority and control over our life. By we, I mean you, I mean me. I will move forward and allow you to operate. This is the highest level of ourselves, the spiritual energy. I want you to move us forward. I put my trust in you. Who are you trusting? You're trusting yourself. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you have supreme authority over your life. If you are in a situation that you can't get out of, circumstances may prevent you from moving, the physical movement of the foot moving into the other side of the door. But the spiritual energy and the spiritual body is always evolving. It's evolving constantly. The evolution never stops, right? So what is that? It's that energy of creating in non-movement. It's being powerful in non-movement. It's throwing daggers at your spiritual enemies in non-movement. This is where we have to be when we talk about spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare isn't something that we'll see, you know, there it is, they're in war, it's going on, let me go suit up. You don't see it. Spiritual warfare is an energy that you don't see, but it's the most powerful war that's happening. It's the most powerful thing that's going on. This is spiritual warfare. It's on an individual level, and it's on a world level. It's global. It's the different dimensions is happening. Right? You have to get out of this energy so that you can be out on the field fighting along with the rest of the spiritual warriors. Fighting for your life when you're in this energy. You're fighting for your spirit when you're in this energy. Spirit is just saying you're already in the fight. You're already in the fight. Don't get it twisted. You're already in the spiritual fight. Let's see what else we get. We have supreme authority over our lives no matter what situation we're in. Whether we don't have the money, whether we don't have the resources we need, whether we don't have the accolades, whether we don't have the whatever. What we do have is our spirits, and what we do have is authority over them. Don't allow somebody to touch your spirit. Don't allow somebody to drag you down to their level. Don't allow somebody to take away parts of yourself, those spiritual parts of yourself, where you don't trust. Courage. Anytime we're going through these energies, anytime we are ascending and approaching these steps and these stairs, it takes courage to go up one step at a time. Busting through this concrete. This makes me think about what we said earlier. This is the bricks that you've built, the concrete that you've built over a long period. This is just something that happened a few minutes ago. This is 10 years, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, however you are, however old you are, put it there. This is also past life, ancestral energy. It's a lot here with these bricks and this spackle. But what we see is this flower popping its way through, right? Spirit is saying that even if you can't tear the bricks down right now, you can try to squeeze your way through them to access the light. They're telling me to tell you to access the light. Access the light. What is the light? It's the truth of who you are. It's the truth. If we don't have anything, tangible to hold on to, what we do have is the truth. The truth is who we are. We have that if we have nothing at all. People who've gone through major trauma, people who've been in prison, people who've been enslaved, people who've gone through major difficulties, they had to hold on to a truth of who they were in order to survive, in order to live. The bricks might not be able to be torn down now. That's the saddest part of it all. But you're working towards doing it. Realize you've laid the foundation a long time ago. Circumstances have led into the building of this, this home or this wall. Spirit is saying, peek your way through at this time to access the light of who you are. That's what you can do. Moving out of this energy of conditioning. Releasing yourself from these chains here. The lion is just sitting there, docile. Look at that face. Afraid to move. The interesting thing about it is, I don't know if the lion is afraid to move. I think the energies around them are afraid of what the lion would do if it did move. Obviously, the lambs don't want to be eaten. But if we think about on a real world stance, there might be people around you that are afraid of what you do when you come out with this powerful spiritual energy and you start to confront this politics. This politics that needs to be confronted. These lies that need to be torn down. These demonic energies that are operating freely and happily, spewing venom, telling lies, whispering in people's ears, putting out falsehoods. That rattlesnake tail is vibrating. To me, that makes me think about energy that's traveling. Words, negativity, and energy that's traveling from one place to the next. This person is happy to do that. They don't want you to come out of that energy wherever you are. Because whatever you have to say or whatever you have to do, is scary to the ones around you. They want to keep you tied up. It's losing faith. And this lion too is older. So it could have been here for a long time. It doesn't make a difference how old you are. It could be 80. Right? Because we're ever growing, we're ever learning, we're ever moving forward. The spirit doesn't have age. The spirit continues to move on. Right? And so it doesn't make a difference how old you are. There's always room for improvement. There's always steps in ascension. There's always spiritual warfare that needs to be fought on your level, at your age, with your abilities, in your mouth, in your truth, in your words, in your actions, in your writing, in your creativity, whatever it is. Because we look at the creative principle here. Whatever you can create with your mind and your heart and that spiritual fire. That's what they're afraid of, right? They're afraid of it. Sometimes these energies don't present themselves as people. Sometimes it's spiritual energies. Keep you drained, creep into your dreams, can't sleep at night, tossing and turning. You gotta get the ancestors on board. You gotta put those shields of protection up. But you are healing, though. You are healing. We are healing. This reading isn't just for one person. There are messages in here for me as well. We all are healing. We all are making our ways up these steps prayerfully. Hopefully we'll all meet out here on the outside and we can just kind of sit and talk with each other for a bit and talk about this war, the spiritual war that's going on, and how we're going to work to fight it. What parts are we going to play? What part are you going to play? What you going to do? What you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. This is what I'm doing. What I'm doing right now is a part of what is my part. It's the part that I play. Everybody's different. Some people are on the ground moving the feet. Some people are out there talking. Some people are out there getting people together. Some people are out there dancing, singing, writing, whatever it is for you. The spiritual work presents itself in many different ways. It presents itself based on who you are and how you were born and how you were brought into this world and what you know and what the most high energy is given you in your heart space, which is the spirit that needs to be accessed. That's the part that you play in the spiritual warfare. It needs all of us to play it. We all need to play the part. And so we'll meet out here and you'll tell me what part you play and I'll tell you what part I play. I'm telling you now what part I play. Maybe you want to leave it in the comments below. You probably won't. That's fine. But we all play a part in the spiritual journey, right? We all are kindred spirits. If you're here listening to me talk, because sometimes I think about my videos and I'm just like, if they're rocking with me, if they're here with me, then we're spirits. We're spirit family. We're kindred spirits. So if you're rolling with me, we out here working in these streets. These spiritual streets together. We have parts to play. That's it for today. Do I want to pull anything out? I mean, I can get to the point where I can pull cards. No, I think I'll leave it at that. But until next time, and we'll see where we are, and we'll continue to grow and learn and love, and we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. Take care.